The story of Little Red Riding Hood. Once upon a time, there was a little girl who was so cute that everyone loved her. Her grandmother, who adored her more than anything, gave her a present one day of a Red Riding Hood. He suited her so well that the girl did not want no longer wearing anything else, and was called since the Little Red Riding Hood. One day, her mother said to her, "Here, Little Red Riding Hood, here is a cookie and a bar of juice. Take them to your grandmother who is sick to give her some strength. Be very good and don't get out of the way. And don't forget to say hello when you will arrive at your grandmother's." "I'll be careful," promised Little Red Riding Hood before leaving. The grandmother lived in about half an hour from the village, deep in the forest. Barely entered the woods, Little Red Riding Hood met the wolf. She didn't know how fierce animal it was, and she was not afraid at all. "Hello, Little Red Riding Hood," said the wolf. "Hello, wolf. Where are you going so early in the morning?" "To my grandmother, who is sick." "And what are you carrying in your basket?" "Juice and a cookie to give her back strength." "And where does your grandmother live, Little Red Riding Hood?" asked the wolf. "Further in the forest, 15 minutes away from here. Under the 3 big trees, it's easy," Little Red Riding Hood explained. While making a long way with Little Red Riding Hood, the wolf thought, "This cutie is a real treat, tender and plump at the same time. She will be much better than the grandmother. But if I'm smart enough, I can buy them both." "Little Red Riding Hood, have you seen all these flowers? Do you hear the birds singing? You walk straight ahead, as if you were going to school, while there are so many funny things in the forest." Little Red Riding Hood then looked around her and saw the rays of the sun dance through the trees and the covered ground flowers. "Grandma will be happy if I bring her a beautiful bouquet," she thought. It's still early. I have plenty of time to pick some. Stepping out of the way, she began to pluck flowers under the trees. One here, one there. She picked one, then she saw another one more beautiful and went deeper and deeper in the forest. The wolf, meanwhile, was running all right at the grandmother's. He knocked at the door. "Who is here?" "It's Little Red Riding Hood. I am bringing you juice and a cookie. Open." "Pull the bag and bobbin," cried the grandmother. "I am too weak to stand up." The wolf pulled the bag and the door opened. And without more speech, he rushed to grandmother's bed and ate it. Then he put on his nightgown and hat lace, drew the curtains, and lay down in his bed. His grandmother was there, but with her hat that hid her almost the whole face, she looked strange. "Oh, Grandma, that you have big ears!" exclaimed Little Red Riding Hood. "It's better to hear you, my child." "Oh, Grandma, you have great eyes." "It's better to see you, my child." "Oh, Grandma, you have great hands." "It's better to catch you, my child." "Oh, Grandma, you have great feet." "It's to eat you better, my child." And with these words, the wolf leaps out of the bed and ate poor Little Red Riding Hood. Satisfied, the wolf went back to bed and snored so loudly that a hunter who walked past the house heard him. "How is that the old lady snores so loud?" he says to him. "Let's go see what's going on." The hunter entered the house and saw the wolf lying in the bed. "This is where you are, old wolf. Since the time I've been looking for you." The hunter was going to shoot when suddenly the idea occurred to him that the wolf could have eaten grandmother, and maybe it was still time to save her. He put down his rifle, took some scissors, and began to open the belly of the sleeping wolf. A few scissors later, Little Red Riding Hood was jumping outside, crying out, "Oh, how scared I was! It was so dark in the wolf's belly." Shortly after, the grandmother went out in her turn. It's hardly if she could breathe. Little Red Riding Hood ran to look for big stones and fill the wolf's belly with them. When he woke up, he wanted to run away, but the stones weighed so heavy that he could not move one step and died. Everyone was happy. The hunter took the skin of the wolf. The grandmother ate the cookie and drank the juice. As for Little Red Riding Hood, she swore not to disobey her mother anymore when she would tell her never to go away in the forest. A few seasons later, Little Red Riding Hood was jumping outside, crying out, "Oh, how scared I was! It was so dark in the wolf's belly." Shortly after, the grandmother went out in her turn. It's hardly if she could breathe. Little Red Riding Hood ran to look for big stones and fill the wolf's belly with them. When he woke up, he wanted to run away, but the stones weighed so heavy that he could not move one step and died. Everyone was happy. The hunter took the skin of the wolf. The grandmother ate the cookie and drank the juice. As for Little Red Riding Hood, she swore not to disobey her mother anymore when she would tell her never to go away in the forest.